messages from other past girlfriends wishing death on my kids. So it's probably best I don't have my daughter around somebody that says things like that.
Wait, wait,
So
wait.
yes.
Enjoy the video, hit the like button.
All right, I'm going to call Miss Rodriguez. Miss Rodriguez, can you please state your full name for the record?
Elizabeth Nicole Rodriguez.
Okay, and the name of your child in this case and their age?
And she is 13 months.
Okay, when was she born?
February 20th, 2024.
And are you requesting any change to the child's last name today?
No.
And where does the child currently live?
With me.
Okay, and who makes the important decisions for your child?
I do.
Who takes the child to the doctor?
I do.
Is your child in daycare at all?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, who takes the child to daycare?
I do.
Okay, who makes the decision of where she goes to daycare?
I do.
Okay. Do you have any concerns with Mr. Campos being involved or making these decisions for Olivia?
No, I have communicated when she has doctor's appointments. He does not show up. I was nice enough to put him on the pickup list for daycare and to be involved in the app that they use for just communication, just so that there's no miscommunication on where she goes, and how much I pay.
Okay. And are you aware of what Mr. Campos's criminal case is?
For which one?
The one with his sentencing on May 1st?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Is there any recent activity between you and Mr. Campos? Well, here, I'm going to rephrase. Is there any history of family violence between you and Mr. Campos?
Yes.
Okay, can you tell the court a little bit about that?
It was May 2024. He was upset that I was seeing somebody else, showed up. Things got violent, and I called the cops because he got violent with my newborn in my hands, and then my other two children were there, and I had just got done with a custody battle with them, because their dad did not want him around them. So.
Okay. And you said the police were called?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, there was a police report?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what you said that there was violence involved. What was that?
He slapped me with the baby in my hands.
And was CPS ever involved in this case?
Yeah, I believe so, yes, because the other two children were involved as well.
Okay, do you know what happened with that CPS involvement?
They just came to do a home visit, and then we got a letter stating that everything was fine. Because
So
of the
the
fact that I moved back home with my parents.
So the CPS case was dismissed or closed?
Both, yes, closed and dismissed.
So would you have any concerns with Dad knowing where you live, your home address, or your phone number?
He knows my phone number. I did give that to him. We went through a parenting app as well, but he took advantage of it. As far as my home address, I never once ever gave that to him. How he knows my home address, I don't know, but he does know my home address.
Okay, so if you ever moved, do you have concerns with him, knowing where you live if you've moved?
Yes.
Okay, and is it due to this incident on May of 2024?
Plenty other incidents after, as far as he's shown up to restaurants where I never mentioned where I was. Just the other night, he knew where I was. I never communicated to him where I was. He knows where I'm at. So there's been police reports as well, as far as he's shown up, because after the incident of the assault back in May, there was a condition of bond stating that he was not allowed to contact me, make threats, show up, or anything like that. And in December, he took it too far and showed up to a restaurant where I was and caused a scene. I had to call the police because I was on the highway, and I admitted that I guess I was in a panic, so I didn't properly put my daughter in the car seat. And so I wanted an officer to basically pull over with me so that way he didn't pull over as well. So then that's pretty much what happened. They told me where to exit because there was a police officer there so that I can get out and put her in the car seat properly. And then since it's just a matter of, again, how he knows where my parents live, I don't know. I never gave him the address ever.
Okay, how long have these instances of, maybe harassment and violence been going on?
I would say December. He was doing better and fine. We were doing fine. We were doing better. I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt that he could watch our daughter without the girlfriend there or without any kind of argument. But it always just leads to I have to be back within he wants to know exactly, like, there's been times where I have 2 hours. There's been 3 occasions where I've agreed to meet him at a public place, and then he turns his location on to prove that he is showing up, but then it turns off, and then he gives me the I'm sick, I'm gonna go home, never mind. Or there was an occasion where he dropped her off at my parents' house because he had plans.
Okay. So since you're saying that the harassment and violence has maybe been going on since December of 2024?
Yes.
Okay. And do you and Mr. Campos have a visitation schedule worked out?
No, I've attempted to do Thursdays because my other 2 daughters go with their dad on Thursdays, so I figured it would just be easier to do everybody's meetup at once. I'm not saying get rid of my kids all at once, but it just makes it easier because I do live on the outskirts of Austin. I have to meet the other girl's dad in Austin, so it just makes it a lot easier to go to Austin one time.
Okay, when was the last time Mr. Campos visited your child?
He was able to get her this past Thursday, so a week ago.
Okay, and so are you requesting today's supervised visits on Thursdays?
If he has a different day, I can work with that. I don't mind. I just was hoping to do Thursdays again because it makes it easier to drive into Austin.
I think she froze, Judge.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Let's maybe give it a second. Uh-oh. Ms. Rodriguez?
She dropped. I think she's back now.
I see it. I'm waiting for audio to connect. Okay, Ms. Rodriguez, it looks like you're back in here. Yeah, you're unmuting and starting your video again. You froze
Yes, the phone number. I know, I'm sorry.
for 10 or 20
Okay,
seconds. Okay.
I'll just restate my last question. Are you are requesting supervised visits on Thursdays, is that correct?
I'm mainly requesting supervised visits, period. If he picks
Okay.
another day out of the week, that's fine.
Okay, do you have a time frame for those supervised visits?
Considering if it's during the weekday, I don't know what time he gets off work. I'm willing to negotiate the time, the day, as long as it's supervised.
Do you have a preference on the time?
Again, if it's weekday, preferably after 5 o'clock. If it's during the weekend, I can negotiate.
Okay. Do you have a place for supervision in mind?
I was hoping possibly almost like a visitation center, only because again, my family won't supervise it, and I don't think his family will either.
And do you feel uncomfortable with meeting at a third location, a public location, and having him having yourself supervise these visitations?
I would prefer not to.
Okay.
And
Do
I
you
only
know of
say
any?
that just because I'm sorry. I only say that just because when I'm around, she's only linked onto me. And I mean, if he wants his visitations, I want her to actually be comfortable going with him and getting to know him better and not having me there interfering.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to move on to some health insurance questions, okay? Is your child on private health insurance currently?
No, she's on Medicaid, I believe.
Do you have private health insurance available at all?
For myself?
Correct. Or that you could put your child on?
Yes.
Okay.
No,
Is that
no,
through?
no, 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 I'm sorry. My insurance is only covered till the end of the month, actually.
Okay. Let's see here. Judge, I think that's all I have for Miss Rodriguez. Nothing further.
Okay, let's just move on to Mr. Campos and see where we get.
Okay, Mr. Campos, can you please state your name for the record?
Agustin Campos?
Okay, do you have any other children?
Yes.
Okay, do you have court ordered support payments for those children?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and what are those children, what are your children's ages?
14. I have who's 12 and I have 2, about to be 3.
Are you requesting the last name of your child before the court today, requesting her last name be changed?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, to what?
Just Campos.
You know what? I didn't think of it, but that's another issue I resolve at the final hearing once we get through whatever burdens. I don't want to do something today and change my mind later. I won't do that. I'll just punt till the final.
I agree with that. That's fine.
I'm gonna reserve the surname as well for the final hearing.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll put that on my list. Okay. Ms. P.
Are you wanting to be involved in making the decisions for your child?
Yes, ma'am. I am.
And what kind of visitation are you requesting today?
I'm requesting whatever I can get. I don't want just the 2 hours. Mrs. Rodriguez has given her me for over 2 hours. She's given to me for a couple times, full length days, more than 2 hours, unsupervised. I don't know why all of a sudden now she wants supervised visitations. It's just a ploy for her. She doesn't want my girlfriend around. So that's what her supervised visitations is all about.
Okay. What day of the week are you, do you have a preference on the day of the week for visitations?
Not really. The supervised visits, I get out of work late sometimes, like 5:30-ish. I know the baby goes to sleep by 8:30. She tries to have her down by 8:30. So I have to run across town to, do this and that. So I don't know. Liz feels comfortable giving her to me on Thursday. Every other time she feels comfortable giving to me in any spot, but just today in front of the courts, she's not comfortable.
Okay.
It doesn't make sense to me.
Is there a day of the week that is preferable for visitations for you?
It doesn't matter.
Okay. Do you work on the weekends?
Some weekends, yes, and some weekends, no.
Is there a day of the week that you don't work?
It's Sundays.
Sundays. Would you be okay with Sunday visitations?
I would be perfectly okay with that.
Okay. Do you have a preference during the day?
It doesn't matter to me.
Okay. Would you be opposed to maybe noon to 2?
I want more than 2 hours. I don't want just 2 hours.
Okay. How long are you requesting?
A day.
A whole day?
The full day.
Okay, 9 hours, 8 hours?
Whatever you consist of a full day. It could be from first thing from 9 o'clock in the morning till 6 o'clock at night in the afternoon, or 5 o'clock, whatever's easier.
You said that your child goes to bed at 8:30. Do you know what time your child wakes up in the morning?
According to Liz, she wakes up early and then she takes a morning nap. She wakes up. She's a child. I mean, she doesn't wake up consistently at one time. I mean, she wakes up at all different times.
Okay. So would maybe like a 10 a.m., 10 to 5 work for you?
That would be great.
Do you have private health insurance available?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, is this through your employer?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And are you a part of a union?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you get your health insurance through the union?
Yes, ma'am.
How much do you pay for your health insurance?
As discussed, it doesn't come out of my pocket, but it's provided to me. It's a deduction. It's a line item on my check every week.
And how much how much comes out of your check every week?
Nothing, zero. But it's all my other child support cases. They've always included that as me paying the health insurance, because I pay union dues, I pay union assessments. You know, I pay for it. Nothing is free in this world. I mean, it gets it. I'm the reason that I have insurance for my whole family, and I pay for it in the back end.
Okay, how much, you said you get credit. How much have you gotten credit for your health insurance?
What do you mean? How much credit have I gotten paid for? I don't get your question.
So you just stated that you have credit on your other child support cases for paying
Yeah,
for health insurance.
yeah. So it was like 150, and and how much that was a month, and they added that to deduct from the child support.
Okay, so you said $150 a week?
No, it's like 175. How much they gave me credit for the last one?
$175 a week?
Yes, it's a line item on my check.
So $700 a month. Does that
Yes,
sound about right?
sounds correct.
And this amount doesn't change if your child is added, correct?
No, ma'am, it will not change. It's that much if I have 10, if I have 20 kids, it doesn't matter.
Okay. What do you do for work?
I'm an electrician. I'm a foreman. I manage a construction site that's going up.
Okay, and how much do you get paid doing that?
$39.99.
And do you work at least 40 hours?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you ever work over 40 hours?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you get overtime?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, how often do you work over?
Right now it's been it's consistent. It's been consistently for the past month, because I'm at the tail end of this hospital job and we have a lot of things to catch up on. So yes, but not usually. I try not to work overtime.
Okay. How much did you?
But
how
the
much
way, go ahead. I'm sorry.
How much did you work in this last week?
Oh, the week before I just worked 48 hours.
Okay. And let me see here. I'll go ahead and ask this. Are you comfortable with having your home address, email address, and phone number in the orders today?
No.
Okay, why not?
Because Ms. Rodriguez has shown up to my girlfriend's house unannounced, uninvited, and has tried to be physical with her in the driveway. I have videos of that. So no, I don't feel comfortable with Ms. Rodriguez knowing that anything. She's always saying, I'll go by there. She has literally been by here. She's literally tried to beat up my girlfriend in the driveway. I have videos of that if anybody wants to see those, if we think I'm lying or something like that.
How long ago was that?
That was not even a month ago. I don't know the exact date. It was
It was February 22nd.
February 22nd.
Has there been any other instances of maybe violence between you and Miss Rodriguez that you'd like to tell the court about?
I'm not going to say anything regarding me and Elizabeth and our past, but it's a two-way street. Mrs. Rodriguez isn't innocent in any way, shape, or form. So that's all I'm going to say to that.
Okay. I'm going to tack on some questions here. If the court orders some visitation today, how do you propose communicating with Miss Rodriguez?
I don't want to deal with Mrs. Rodriguez. It never ends well. It never ends well between me and her, and I am adult enough to say that. Miss Rodriguez is very childish, as I am. She is very petty, as I am as well. We meet up, something gets said, I'll pop off at my mouth, and so will she. We're both culprits in this, and we just can't get along. I mean, she wants to do the whole visitation at a dinner. I mean, like, why can't we just, agree at a point where she gets dropped off and I pick her up, where we don't have to see each other? And if at this point in time it's that such of a big deal, that because just on Thursday she met me up with the baby and gave her to me, it was all fine and dandy there, but for some reason today, like I've said, in front of the courts, it's not okay in front of the courts, but outside of the courts, it's okay. It doesn't make sense to me. But my suggestion is this little center that she's wanting me to get my supervised visits. Why can't she drop her off there and I pick her up? If there's a fee, so be it. But I mean, there's ways. There's ways. I don't have to see her.
Okay.
Yeah,
Would you be
I think so.
Hold on,
It's
Miss Rodriguez. Would you be opposed to doing a court-ordered communication through app close?
it doesn't work because Ms. Rodriguez, I'm supposed to reply to Ms. Rodriguez within 5 minutes. Ms. Rodriguez doesn't have to reply to me about anything. We get into our arguments about certain other things that I will admit as a man that I do question her about other things that don't regard, but even in stuff that regards to doesn't reply, she just likes to leave me hanging. Oh, I'm gonna meet you here for the baby. She doesn't show up. She's had me driving around town that she was going to meet me up with the baby, and she doesn't show up. I have that documented as well. Her as well. It's always a last minute thing with Mrs. Rodriguez. It's always a last minute, like, oh, either do it right now or you can't. She's literally dropped the baby off with me and my girlfriend plenty of times last minute, and I have to get scrambled to get the baby, and if I don't, then I'm the bad dad for not getting her very, very, very last minute. It's always a last minute thing with Miss Rodriguez.
Okay. A couple more questions for you. Do you pay any union dues?
Yes, ma'am.
And how much are those?
I pay $50 a month in union dues and 5% of my check for working assessments.
Can you tell the court a little bit about what those working assessments are?
It's just a percentage of my check that the union gets for being part of the union.
Okay.
I mean, it's very common. I mean, every union does it. I don't know a union that doesn't.
Okay. And it comes out 5% weekly of your paycheck, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Nothing further, Judge.
Have you managed to see a paycheck, Ms. Teague, or not? That hasn't happened yet.
I
have not seen one yet.
I can provide one. I left my iPad. I left my iPad at work, and I didn't go to work today, and that has my login for my paycheck. But I will provide as many paycheck stubs as you want.
Okay. How long have you been at that employment, Mr. Campos?
I've been there for since September of last year. No, yes.
So it's a salaried employment. They give you a paycheck. They take out taxes, Social Security, all that stuff.
It's not salaried, it's hourly, but yes, ma'am, they federal income tax, everything, the whole nine, they take everything out.
But since last year, you meant 2024 September, so you haven't been there, but what, 6 months or so?
Yeah, correct. My previous employer I was at for 8 years. I'm no longer there, so I moved over here.
Are you making more here than you were there? Or
I'm making less here.
Okay. If it's reported wages, the state should have access to that as well.
Of course.
I'm not sure I'm gonna make it a big deal right now if you haven't even bothered to look it up yet, Ms. Teague, but it's possible there's at least 1 or 2 reported quarters at this point from September to now.
And
Okay,
we would prefer maybe for final if he would just bring his pay stubs would be best.
And I will. I'll bring it all.
okay, and also this insurance thing, I'm not sure if giving you, if you're not paying, well, you are paying
But
dues.
I
But something
don't-
explain if you really wanting $750 of credit for insurance, which
But they've done it. Hayes
Well,
County has done it before.
if you have a court order that shows that with your other cases.
Oh, okay,
they
cool.
have findings.
Awesome.
I don't
I
know,
do
is it an AG case, your other
Yes,
case?
ma'am. 1000%. All my cases are AG cases. So
How many do you
there.
have? More than these two? This one that I know about and the other one that you told me about?
I have 3.
3? So
Yeah,
there's
can you write this down real quick? I pay $650 a month for one. I pay $1,100 a month for another one, and I pay $900 a month for another one. And then now they want me to pay $700 a month for this one. Like, I don't get how they want me to make a living here.
So there's 4 separate cases with 4 different mothers.
Yes, ma'am. 1000%.
Then you told me about the 3 kids that you do have, or that I know about anyway, other than this child.
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Which one is the child support order for them? The 1100 one or something else?
No. It's those 3. Each one has a different case.
Well, that's what I see. I'm sorry. I thought they were all in the same case.
No, ma'am.
So the 14-year-old is which case?
Is it $650 a month?
Okay. And then the 12-year-old?
He's $1,100 a month.
Okay. And then the 2-year-old?
$100 a month.
And have any of those cases, have you told them about the other kids where they credited you and brought, or you haven't gone back to one after you've gotten an order?
Well, the last 2 were pretty close. They were within a year apart. Michaela is telling me that I'm only going to get credit for $1,200 when I'm paying $2,600 a month. And like I said, I'm not embellishing these numbers. Like, she's AG, y'all are AG. Y'all should be able to just look somewhere and be like, oh yeah, he pays
Okay.
this much a month.
Let me stop you. I'm not AG. I'm the judiciary. I'm not involved with them. I don't work.
Okay.
They don't work for me. We're totally separate. So
Yes,
whatever
ma'am.
they have, they might have information. If they prosecuted those cases, they would have those orders in their system or whatever, and they could verify that. But don't mix me up with them because it's
100%. I'm very sorry. I'm sorry, Your Honor. I'm sorry.
no, people don't get that. But I want to make it real clear we're not tied together.
Yes, ma'am. So that's what I'm saying. Like, she's like, she's telling me that I'm only going to get credit for $1,200. Like, how does that make sense? Like, how does that make sense?
What we expect is like, okay, it was years old. Did they consider your other kids? And so then that's how they got 900 and you make a lot of money. I haven't heard any numbers, so I don't know. But if the oldest one was the first one, and then you got the second one with credit for 1, and you got the third one with credit for 2, you may be entitled to modification on the second one for credit for 2 instead of 1, and for this one for credit for all those 3. But it requires you to go back to court or tell them or give them
and go back to court and get a lawyer with what money?
No,
With
the
what money?
state provides services. If you didn't properly get credit for 1 or 2 or 3 of these kids in any of your cases, you can go back and ask for modification to change circumstances. You now have another court order. You now have another child. This is a 13-month-old that hasn't been considered with any of those cases, right? So the expectation is that once you're responsible here, then you have one more child to be added to the other cases and maybe modify those that don't have credit for anybody, any of the other kids. And so it would bring all of them down, maybe? I don't know.
So at this point in time, I'm leaving here today, having to pay $3,300 a month.
I haven't done it yet. I haven't done it. I'm trying to figure it out, but I'm trying to tell you part of the answer is you requesting modifications to get proper amount so you don't get overbilled or overcharged for all these kids that don't have credit for the others.
I get it.
I don't know how to fix that. You'd have to call the AG or actually fill out an application on each of your other cases to say, now I have this obligation. While we're at it, these are the other kids too. Let's fix them all, you know?
Yes, ma'am.
And that
100%.
is a service they provide. You have to actually make an application. They usually look at your cases every 3 years to see if you're entitled to come back to court to get more money or based on more money or less money and change those numbers. But now you can always ask if you know there's a new obligation here. It might be worth it to ask and see if you can get help on the other ones. That's how we manage it, that maybe the other ones come down. We shouldn't short this one because of the other ones if you're not doing your due diligence to try to get help on the other ones. Because you're entitled to it. But you have to take action.
Yes, ma'am. 100%.
And if you hire a lawyer, it happens quicker. If you go to the AG, you subject to what they do and how long it takes, because they have thousands of cases, not enough people.
I don't know how I would hire a lawyer. I barely have money to do what I would.
I've been around for a long time. I tell you, there's some groups out there that are fathers groups that might be able to have lawyers or that have lawyers that do services at a reduced rate. I mean, it's worth checking the internet or checking for any fathers groups that might
Yes, ma'am.
I'd help you if you're not willing to go through the AG or you takes too long.
I'm going to try through the AG. I have to.
Yeah, you should. You should. But anyway, I still have to do what I need to do for this job. What else did I need to ask you? Well, basically that. Okay. Ms. Rodriguez, you're going to want to reply in a minute. I'm going to let you, it's okay. But right now he's testifying. Do you have any questions you want to ask him before we move on? And you have the right of cross-examination, both of you, of any other witnesses. You are acting as your own representatives, as your own lawyers. So that's why I'm going to allow this. What?
Can you give me 1 second? I got to get a charger. My phone's about to die.
Absolutely, please. We're still on record. We're still recording everything. I'm just going to stop my video for a few seconds.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay, we've been recording this whole time. I was telling you that you each have the right of cross-examination of any other witnesses, so that would be of each other. So Ms. Rodriguez, since he's testifying right now, do you have any questions you want to ask him? Not what you want to tell him, not what you want to call him, not to reply, not yet. That's in another minute. Do you have any questions for him on the issues before the court?
No.
Okay, that's easy. Mr. Campos, do you have any questions for Ms. Rodriguez? And you heard all the other stuff, just questions.
This questions regarding what? Anything I want?
Well, not custody. Y'all aren't fighting about custody. Visits, supervised or not, or at a 30, money, any of that, insurance.
Okay,
Do you have any
so-
questions?
One question. Why was it okay before today's court date for me to get my daughter alone, but not now? What has changed?
Do you want me to answer? Can I
Yes,
answer?
so what should I answer?
Yes, it's a question, ma'am. Yes, you're required to answer it.
Okay. Considering this past Thursday, I'm going to be very honest. I just needed a babysitter. My parents are the two that help me the absolute most. Every once in a while, they need a break. I had these plans for an extremely long time. I planned it out with him a weeks prior. He tried to bail on me the day before, saying that he had to do a shutdown, and I've heard. And so then I was a little worried on how we were going to do it because he stated his parents cannot help whatsoever. I have all the messages. His parents cannot help, comfortable with his parents. As far as the girlfriend, he agreed to keep her away. There's reasoning why I don't want the girlfriend around. I have plenty messages from other past girlfriends wishing death on my kids. So it's probably best I don't have my daughter around somebody that says things like that.
Wait.
Yes.
You can't just blame everybody else on this one.
That's what I'm saying. Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you.
As far as
Well, you
just-
said
you just-
because previous girlfriends have threatened death, that you don't want that to happen with this one.
I'm sorry, say that one more time. It was really echoey.
Well, does anybody have some other device on or somebody else have?
No, I don't.
I have Because
No,
of the feedback that I'm hearing. Okay.
it went away already.
Okay, Miss Rodriguez, you said other girlfriends have threatened death, and then you just kind of said, well, I don't want it to happen. And so you're charging this one with what somebody else did. Has this girlfriend threatened your death on your child?
I believe so. I might have a message where she said that they both stated it. I hope you and, this baby, you know, die having
Well,
complications.
you would need to show that to the judge because
Okay,
that's
that's fine.
like right
I
now, like
have
okay,
everything.
if
I
you have
have
it, show
everything.
it to her so that we could just see this big lie that you just and you're gonna be with the I'm sorry, I thought he said that. Please show that
Okay.
she threatened death on your daughter.
Okay, I
Okay.
can.
Do you have it now on your phone?
Yeah, sure.
And could I ask another question, Your Honor?
Yeah, if she can do two things at once, yeah.
I doubt it, but let's try. Um, um, uh, why was she okay with my girlfriend picking my daughter up from Mrs. Rodriguez at a public location? My girlfriend grabbed my daughter from her. They had a nice exchange. She gave her my daughter, and my daughter brought her to me. Why
No,
was it
Maddie
okay?
brought your daughter
Okay,
to me.
okay. Hold on. Yeah, Maddie brought my daughter to me. Picked her up from you. Did you find that text message?
Yeah, I'm looking, but I'm
Okay,
listening to
okay.
you.
Is Maddie the girlfriend you're talking about, the current
Yes,
girlfriend?
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Why was it okay for Maddie to pick her up in a public setting from you and bring my daughter to me, where we had her for the day? Why now is it not okay? What had since if she's had this death threat on your daughter for however long, why why was it okay then and why is it not okay now?
Okay, because prior, so this girl Maddie was a whole affair. And yes, I did have some hard feelings on it
You still have
until
hard feelings on it.
okay, until yes, 1000%, until he came clean of it. Okay, we were fine.
We
There were
and it's not an affair because we were never together and we were never married, so it's not an affair. So
okay.
let's get the terminology correct.
Okay. Let me know when you're done.
No, I'm just talking to you
Yeah,
about it.
let her finish, let her
Yeah,
finish.
yes, ma'am.
Okay. There were several like yes, there were words said between her and I. They went on for a really long time until one specific night, and I can pull the message where I just told her I'm tired of fighting. Gus is who he is. He goes between anybody and everybody. So I just want to take myself out, and I want to prove to you that him and I are done. Um, I I'm the one that said I will give her to you. Let's just clear the air. Let's put it all on the table because Gus has lied to me previous times of she's not around, she's not around. And then when the girlfriend gets upset, she sends me videos or pictures of her being around my daughter. So I didn't think that was the right way. So I told her, let's do it the right way. Let's meet in a public setting. I have to drop my other two girls off with their dad. If you're comfortable, just come meet me at HEB, just buy the formula that she needs, buy the diapers. I'm not going to send her with anything because, again, Gus doesn't provide. So I shouldn't have to send her with milk, formula, diapers, wipes, snacks. So I asked her if she would be comfortable buying that stuff for her house. And she did.
I guess you're just going about it the roundabout way. Like you're just putting a bunch of stuff that's not needed. Did you let Maddie get the baby from you and bring her to me? Was that okay at that point in time? I don't need the interjection of what was
Okay, I get
brought,
it.
what wasn't.
Yes, Mr. Campos, you made an objection, all granted. Answer the question, ma'am.
Yes, I did until 2 days later, whenever Gus found me, well, tried
You
going to a
answered the
pizza
question,
place.
yes.
That's
Yes,
not
yes,
that's,
Another
yes,
question, another question,
yes.
any other questions, Mr. Campos?
um no, I mean I guess not. I mean like she brings up that it was not okay to have my Maddie around my daughter beforehand, but
Okay,
why
you're
was it
now,
okay?
you're making an argument now. I was asking if you had questions.
Okay. Yeah, the question was why was it okay for her to have why is it okay for her to have my daughter around married men? Why is that okay? But I can't have her around Maddie. Like, what's the difference between her with a married man that he was having an affair on his wife? Why was that okay, and why wasn't this okay? What's the difference?
Do you need me to answer that?
Yeah, what's the difference? Yeah.
Okay, because somehow I got pregnant again with Gus in October. Um, We both decided to still go our separate ways. He goes with Maddie. I met somebody else. That's when Gus showed up at a restaurant.
That's not, but that's, you're not
Wait,
answering the question.
stop. You're pregnant right now with his child?
Yes, ma'am.
When's the due date?
July 18th.
Why the hell did you not tell the AG or somebody before now? You wanted final orders and you have another kid with this guy? We got to put it in the paperwork and deal with it. Are you saying it's very possible he's a father, or you know 100% he's a
Hey,
father?
she doesn't know 100%. That's
Just last
Okay, I'm
night, you asked
asking
me.
her. Are you alleging he's the father, Ms. Campos, or not?
Mr. Rodriguez.
It's Miss Rodriguez. It's not Mrs. It's
Okay,
Miss.
Ms. Rodriguez, are you alleging you have a child, you're pregnant by Mr. Campos at this time?
Yes.
And your due date's in October or
July
July what? Mid-July, late July?
July 18th.
So we're gonna have another baby to deal with. Are you gonna ask for DNA, Mr. Campos?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
You're not gonna sign the acknowledgement at the hospital or anything like that?
No.
Okay, then I'm gonna shut them down. Ms. Rodriguez, after you let the child go with the girlfriend who took the child to Mr. Campos, and whether she was there or not, I have no idea, but the child was returned after how many hours?
I went to San Antonio with the other two girls. I think we did we do it? I don't remember. I'm asking Gus. Did we do a 10 a.m. drop off or a 12 p.m. drop off?
It was 10 a.m. to like
Okay.
6 p.m. 8 a.m.
Yeah. No, it was I picked her up by 6. So
Okay, it was
because
from 10 to 6.
Maddie and I were communicating that whole day. She did let me know that they made it back home.
You
Well,
can
to her
communicate with
house.
the girlfriend, but not the father.
Yes, I communicated with the girlfriend
Okay.
because I was trying. I was really trying
Did
with her.
did this child come back fine?
Yes.
Every time she comes back
I'm
fine.
talking to her, Mr. Campos.
Yes,
How many
ma'am.
times have you let him or the girlfriend or somebody else, how many times has he had the child unsupervised in her 13 months of age?
I'm going to be very honest. I don't know because it's always led to I'm at home by myself, but then again, I get later on, told by the girlfriend he can't watch her he cannot watch Olivia without her. He needs help.
No, that's not what I asked, is how many times did you drop off the child unsupervised or didn't make supervision a requirement of the
I can
visit?
tell. Okay. January 31st was for about 45 minutes.
Since she's been alive, Elizabeth is
Stop.
what she's
She's
asking.
talking. Let her finish her January through March at least.
Okay.
And I know I can tell from the calendar that she's not covering since the birth, except I haven't heard, and I guess I'll ask you first, Ms. Rodriguez, before you finish your last question. Have you all lived together at all since the birth? of the child?
Never.
Okay, so you said January 31st. How many other times or what days are you remembering? Or times?
From January up until like yesterday?
No, really, since the child's birth till yesterday. If y'all were never under the same roof.
The very first time was in September of 2024.
So she was only how old was she at that point?
February, March, April, May, June, July, August. 7 months.
And you let the child go at 7 months unsupervised?
Yes.
And the child came back in what condition?
She was fine.
Okay, what was the next time?
Nothing in October. Nothing in November. One time in December, and that's when the cops were called. Because he brought her back. Oh, one time in October, but he was not okay. I had to leave her with his sister-in-law. And then he lasted maybe an hour, dropped her off at my parents' house without anybody knowing. That was in October.
Okay, I'm not gonna get into any of the rest of it. All the times, however many they were, whatever dates, however, whether 1 hour, 8 hours, or whatever, at any point in time, did the child come back in any way harmed or looked to be harmed or anything suspicious?
No, I've never had to question any of that.
So why are you questioning it today?
Today, because again, he doesn't.
Spiteful.
Stop, Mr. Campos. I'm talking to her.
Judge, if you give me co-hosting duties, I can mute the person that's not supposed to talk.
I'd be happy to do that, Ms. Gonzalez. She's my coordinator. She's my authority to do that for me.
Can I answer? I'm sorry.
Hold on a minute. Okay, now you can answer.
Mainly just because again, like, yes, I have so many messages where I've tried telling him, why can't we just, yeah, and I've admitted to him I need financial help from him. At the time I had formula, daycare, diapers, I was paying hospital bills, her doctor bills
That's
for
not what
her.
I asked you. I
So,
asked,
okay,
why
so
is it not okay if you've done it all these times unsupervised without a court order, and every time the child came back, what makes you think the child's going to be harmed now?
I don't think she would be harmed now, but I'm tired of the whole I will pick and choose when I get her.
No, I'll put in a court order what Daisy
Okay.
gets, and either he comes, gets her, or he forfeits the visit, and I'll fix it all to where you know
I'm
exactly
all
what's
for a
happening.
court order
You don't
visitation.
have
I'm
to
all for
beg,
it.
you don't have to do anything, but why should it be supervised? That's what you've been fighting this whole time.
Because I have so many messages of I can't watch her on my own.
Okay, then that's just not gonna be the case anymore with a court order. But you also admitted, I mean, be frank, that it helped you, you needed help, so in the help, you let him visit without supervision. But
No, I
if
needed financial help.
No, earlier you said you'll be honest with the court and you
Okay,
let him
yes,
have the
yes.
child because you needed the help because you had something planned. So why would a mother who's concerned about the child's safety do that if you weren't going to be worried about something? I mean, you get
Because again, he shows up with her this last time in December when he had her, and I'm at a restaurant. I give her to him. He shows up at the restaurant with her and drops her off.
okay. It's inconvenient as hell because there's not a court order. Is that what I'm hearing? And maybe with a court order, you can chill the heck out and know where you're supposed to meet and all that, but the child's not in danger during any unsupervised visits, Ms. Rodriguez?
No, I think she was in danger that day. I will be very honest with you.
You didn't say it yet. What made you think the child was in danger?
Because he called me screaming at the top of his lungs because he didn't know, oh, why didn't you answer the phone? Can the baby eat cheese? Can the baby eat
Okay.
nacho? Like, just
Did the
screaming
child
off his head.
go? You let the child go?
No, I asked to be, I was like, well, just bring her back to me. Just bring her back to me. No, I'll calm down. I have so many messages of
Did
Gus's
the
sticking
child
on
come
her.
back fine after that visit?
No, she did not. That's when he
What was
dumped
the
her at the
problem?
restaurant. The fact that he brought her with no diaper bag, I had to go get it from his truck. I had to find everything. The fact that he was angry, he was so like upset
Okay.
of me being at a restaurant with somebody else. That's what I'm saying. I want them supervised so that a way he cannot leave that center with my daughter to go find me. He cannot, just take her wherever, communicate with me about where she's going to be at. He's lied so many times about, I'm just going to be at my parents. I'm just going to be at my parents. Okay. But then I find out, oh, she was here and there. He doesn't have a valid driver's license. He drives everywhere without her. He's gotten pulled over so many times. He's got 3
Why didn't
DWIs
you
on
bring
him.
that up a while ago that he didn't have a driver's license and how you're going to meet him?
I'm sorry. I told Michaela that, or
Well, she's not the judge. You know, I haven't heard it. I'm not a part of the negotiations. I'm hearing this for the very first time. I need to hear it myself,
I'm
ma'am.
sorry. He
You
doesn't
haven't
have a
said.
valid driver's license because of 3 DWIs within the last 2 years.
Okay, stop, Mr. Diaz. Mr. Campos, is that true? You're muted. You can unmute now. I'll send you a prompt if you need it. Got it? Do you have a, do you
Yes,
have
ma'am.
a, what?
Yes, one of them's been dismissed. 2 of them have been dismissed. So it's only one, and I do not have a valid driver's license. That's why I depend on my girlfriend a lot. That's why my girlfriend is a big issue. That's
Will
why.
will you ever be driving without a license to pick up this child?
No, I will not.
Have you done it so far?
Have I?
Yes, he has.
I'm not going to incriminate myself.
Okay, fine. But if the order says you have to have a valid driver's license or you cannot drive to pick up the child, you would obey that?
Yes, ma'am, 100%.
And if you don't, you know there's going to be feedback. You know there's going to come back with
I know
what
somebody's
happened.
I know somebody's gonna tell on me. Yes, ma'am, I do know
Yes, and
that.
she should if that's what the case is.
Yes, ma'am, 100%. Nope.
So
Well,
you'd be able to go to visits, but without driving, you'd have somebody.
yeah, but
Okay.
the thing is that so, Your Honor, I have my girlfriend who's with me all the time, who's gonna help me with this. That's the issue with Liz. Is that an issue with you?
Are you talking to me?
Yes, ma'am, Your
You're
Honor.
asking
Yes.
me a question? You
Yes,
don't
ma'am.
get to do that, sir.
Oh, no, no,
I
no.
get to hear evidence. I get to decide what's good with me and what's not good with me, and I don't have to tell
Okay.
you. But I am concerned about it not having a valid driver's license on your behalf.
Yes, ma'am.
I haven't heard
100%.
that till this minute.
Okay.
Okay. You know, I think I'm ready to rule. Do you have any other evidence or any other cross-examination for these parties, Ms. T?
No, Judge.
And okay, then give me a court date that you want to recommend for come back on this. This is a temporary order.
Since the current child is the due date is July 18th, I'm not sure. I'm
Yeah.
not sure I have those dates, so whatever you recommend.
Well, I was thinking about the May 1st sentencing date, but that's right. We have another issue to deal with. You still have to
Right.
plead or wait till the child's born to plead. Due date in July. You know, usually I give 3 months or so. This one, I don't know if I can let them go that long and wait till the child's born. I need to check in to see that it's going well, to see that y'all have grown up. Maybe you figured out a way to communicate. If you can't use the tools we give you. I don't know how you're going to do it, but you still have to communicate. Yes, Ms. Rodriguez, you raised your hand. What?
I have so many where I asked him to get on the app
Oh
and
my
just
God.
I don't want to hear anymore. I don't want to hear any more about that. I'm trying to go from here forward. Do y'all not get that? Y'all are in court. There's going to be a court order. I'm trying to figure out what the best thing is based on what the two of you say and the he said, she said. And now we have another baby on the way. Well, you got to figure out how to communicate, people, because if you don't, what the hell are you doing to your children? It hurts them. They're going to see it. They're going to know it. They're going to feel it. They're going to probably carry it over into their relationships when they're adults. I assume you don't want them to go through the stuff you all are going through. And if you do, then I think you're a bad parent. So you need to figure out how to stop. You really do. You need to figure all this back and forth. If you're doing it in a courtroom, I can't imagine what you do on your front doorstep without a court or somebody there to monitor y'all. That's why you end up calling the cops. And both of you, and you admitted it, Mr. Capos. You said it, and you were laughing, Ms. Rodriguez, about, oh, I'm childish, he's childish. So that's what I got. Well, he admitted he was. And I've heard and I believe that both of you need a little growing up to do. Yes. You're going to hear from a court, and you're going to see me back here in a few months and probably another time again for that next baby. I hope you figure it out. And I can recommend that you all, well, actually going to order both of you to do co-parenting classes online. Find something that's affordable. It's probably 6 classes, 12 classes, whatever. I want both of you to go through a co-parenting class online and come back, see if it helps at all. Maybe you'll chill out or settle down or something, because this ain't going to work for co-parenting for sure. I mean, you started off pretty well. Oh, yeah, we talk. Oh, yeah, I want to be involved. Oh, yeah, I tell him. Oh, yeah, but we can't do access. Oh, no. Oh, we can't do this. Oh, we can't do that. And I have to call the cops. And the girlfriend, I'm going through the girlfriend. I can get along with her, but not with him. Well, that's backwards. It's supposed to be him, the parent, not the girlfriend or the next one or whatever. She may not be permanent. You get that, Ms. Rodriguez. You've seen a few already. I don't know what you're doing, and it's none of my business. But if what's good for one of you is good for the other. So if you want, if you're going to allow girlfriends and boyfriends and all that, that's fine. I don't have any problem with that, as long as you use your good judgment before you bring these people around, and not on the first date or the first whatever. But if you've already communicated with Ms. Maddie and you like her better and can talk to her better, and you've admitted nothing's happened between you all, he gets to have the girlfriend around. I'm not going to put any restrictions on that.
Oh, no. We're not okay at all. Like, if it comes down the road where a court order states that I cannot be around any person that I'm dating, and he cannot have Olivia around any.
No, I'm not.
No, I'm saying down the road. I'm saying down the road.
I'm saying
Because
right
her
now,
and
I'm
I do
not
not get
putting that
along
restriction.
whatsoever.
Ms.
Her and I
Rodriguez,
do not get along.
well, you don't get to pick who his mates are, and he doesn't get to pick yours either. So
Trust me, if I could, I wouldn't.
So
I
right
wouldn't
now,
leave
if
him alone.
Miss Maddie is the transportation to get your kid and she's not by herself because you don't, then dad's got to be there, obviously. Or I don't know what else. Y'all haven't offered much else to me other than give me an agency and tell me, let them do that and pay for it and all that. That doesn't seem, you haven't had to do that till now. So I'm not going to start that now. Okay, let's go through the beginning. First of all, there's going to be a finding that mother alleges another child, due date in September, and AG to amend pleadings at appropriate time. I just don't want anybody to forget about this because it is serious. So the minute the child's born, or not, maybe the day or two, or when you get home, you get online, Ms. Rodriguez, and you tell the AG the name of the child, the birth date of the child, the place of birth of the child, so that they can file a pleading. If you don't give them information, they can't file it. And so that is important. You need to
And that
do.
would be, that'd come with the paternity test first, right?
I'm going to deal with it when it's actually in front of me. And if you ask for DNA because you didn't sign an AOP, you're entitled to it. But I'm not ordering it today because the child hasn't even been born. And I don't have authority over a child that's not even before the court in written form in a pleading. That child's not before me. The child hasn't even been born. So remember, you ask for it when it's appropriate. That's what I'm telling you, Mr. Campos. I can't pre-order it. Okay. I'm going to go back to the beginning. Things we're reserving retroactive support, reserving court costs, reserving surname. I'm going to reserve the issue of the non-disclosure for right now. Don't put either parent's address on there. However, I do need a way of communicating since app close won't work. How do you want him to let you know if I'm going to put these visitations in the order? And you're required to do it, Mr. Campbell. I was going to say, you go pick up the child. If you can't do it, you have an obligation to cancel at some point before, so she doesn't inconvenience, you don't inconvenience her or the child or upset the child that you're not coming or whatever. So how would you communicate with Ms. Rodriguez to cancel a visit if you can't do it, Mr. Campos?
You're asking me?
Yes, I'm asking you how you would cancel. Yes, how you would want to. I'm asking what you would prefer.
A text message and saying I'm not going.
Okay. Are you planning to do that very often?
No, I
you have
want my time
business-
with my daughter.
Okay, and if I give you visits, you're going to attempt to visit. So the only time I should put in there is that you're going to cancel, because otherwise you're going to be there.
Other than work, there's no.
And
there
you're
should be
okay
business.
with the tech. And on Sunday, if it's on Sundays, there's no problem with work, correct, Mr. Campos?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Would that work for you, Ms. Rodriguez, if he texts you that he's not coming? Otherwise, you don't have to talk to him. You just need to expect him. You're muted again, so sorry, unmute. Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that would work for me too, because he doesn't have to tell you ahead of time he's gonna visit. He just has to tell you when he's canceling. And you keep a calendar, ma'am. If he disobeys that, if he doesn't tell you and you're sitting there waiting, that's on him, and that's a problem for me if he's not obeying the court order and he's inconveniencing you and not bothering to call you to tell you he's not coming. That's why I'm doing it this way instead of the other way. So a text message to cancel visits. Okay. By father to mother. How much time would you like to know, or when would you know? Let me start with you, Mr. Campos. How early that you would not be able to visit? I mean, surely you would know.
I shouldn't be work. I shouldn't work any Sundays.
Okay. But if
Okay.
you want to cancel, and you can't cancel the last minute unless you're on the way to the hospital, for God's sake.
Of course, I get that. I get every scenario that
So
you're.
what would be rational, reasonable to how much time before you don't commit? You got to tell her if you're going to go, you have to go.
But
24 hours?
Before. Okay, yeah, 24 hours. It would have to be Saturday in the morning.
Yeah.
Or before the baby falls asleep. Saturday before.
I don't know. Well, for you, Ms. Rodriguez, for you, if the visits are Sunday during part of the day, how much time do you need to know so you don't get up and go? The day before, the night before, the morning of? What would work for you?
I would prefer 24 hours.
24 hours, okay.
And again, that's only just, I have two other kids and I got to plan with them.
That would be fine, okay. By text message. Okay, then
Maybe she had her tubes tied.
I'm going to order, they agreed to it, I'm going to order it on a temporary basis, the joint managing conservatorship. Mother has primary, the obligation or the right to designate the child's residence. Are you moving out of your parents' house anytime soon, Ms. Rodriguez?
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Yes.
no. And when would that be?
I don't know. I got fired because of Gus, so I gotta see how that's gonna work. You're more than welcome to call that employer. And
No, I don't want to talk about any of that. That's not what I asked you. What I asked you is, when would you possibly think about moving?
I have to leave prior to having this baby.
But you're not leaving far away, I hope, or you're not planning to leave.
Wherever I find a job.
Okay, for right now, the law allows it. I'm gonna impose it that you can't just pick up and move to wherever you want, including Alaska or Europe or something, that there's a geographic restriction to this county. Y'all are both in Hayes County
Yes, ma'am.
and any counties that touch
Wait,
Hayes County.
he's not in Hayes County.
Oh, so, I'm sorry.
He's in Travis County.
Okay.
You're in Travis
She
County,
just
sir?
said
Well, this is
any
the Hayes
county that
County
touch
case
Hayes
and nobody
County.
tells me anything, so I don't know. You're in Travis County?
Yes. But I'm not planning to move anybody anywhere anytime soon, and I
No,
imagine.
but if you pick up and move, that undoes what is her requirement to be living here.
100%, I agree.
Okay. Hayes and contiguous counties, Hayes and any county that touches or is next to Hayes County, you've got a wide area of several counties if you need to move, Mr. Rodriguez. But during a court case, I'm not gonna let you pick and move wherever you want because no, you have to come back to court and you have to allow the child to be near the dad because that's what you have now. So no, you're not gonna pick up and move, at
Thank
least
you,
not
Your
during a
Honor.
temporary order. However, I don't know if I need to put it in there, Ms. Teague, but Mr. Campos, if you, and Travis is contiguous to Hayes, if you pick up and move and leave of this whole area and none of the counties that touch Hayes, then the deal's off, she can move. Just so you know, you can't pick up and go to North Texas and say, oh, King's X, she has to stay where she is, even though I've gone far away. You've undone the thing. You got
Yes,
it?
ma'am, 100%. It goes both ways. Yes, ma'am, I got it.
Okay, so joint managing conservator, mother has primary, the geographic restriction, and then on the issue of visitation. Well, I haven't heard any argument on child support, have I, Ms. Teague? Why don't you tell me that first?
Okay, his child support based on his testimony. Let me see here. Child support based off of his testimony with a gross of 6,929. That's 39.99 an hour at 40 hours a week is 663 a month. And that does give him credit for the union dues based off testimony and the $700 worth of union health insurance. So that would be 663.
Okay, did you follow those numbers, Mr. Campos?
I have no other choice, right?
Well, your other cases need to be, you need to run to go apply for help on those is what I'm thinking. You did give credit. What percentage did you use, Ms. Teague, for 3 other children? You used all 3?
Yes, I 14.75%.
Because normally it'd be 20% for one child. So now you can get lower child support for the other ones too. And then you have another one coming.
Supposedly, I don't know that for a fact, and I don't want anybody
Okay.
saying that it's mine because I don't know.
An alleged child, yes.
Supposedly.
Yes, legally it's alleged. Okay, so you're gonna have to
I
figure.
have a question about past medical bills.
No, not for today. We're doing a temporary order. I'm not gonna take up a whole.
Not for today, ma'am.
Mr. Campos, do you really have to repeat what I say? I don't think I need anybody repeating what I say as part of this discussion. What I'm trying to tell you is you can't control yourself either, both of you. I don't know how you're going to do it, but you need to learn how to do it. You didn't use any overtime, Ms. Teague?
I did not. I just used it at 40 hours a week, considering he doesn't always do overtime.
Yeah.
And I don't have any pay stubs to base it
Then
off of.
yes, I guess what I can do is just round it down. I'm going to do $650 a month on temporary orders for the child starting April 1st.
April 1st, Judge.
And then the insurance provisions, mother, if you want me to consider the insurance that you have, Mr. Campos, and it might be good insurance, and it really costs you that much, you need to bring all that proof. Mr. Rodriguez, the children are on Medicaid right now, and you qualify for it? The child is?
I believe she's still on Medicaid. I just she got grandfathered in from when I had her. And as far as renewal, I'm not sure how that worked.
When are you up for renewal?
I'm not too sure. She had a doctor's appointment, like her yearly checkup about 2 weeks ago, and they didn't say anything as far as she wasn't covered.
No, they would have said something if she wasn't covered.
I figured, so I just let it go.
Do you still show, well, I don't know if you can tell me that, Ms. Teague. What are you recommending as far as insurance provisions?
Because Mr. Campos has the private health insurance through the union, I think that's what I'm going to be requesting as far as the state's concerned.
Why would we do it any other way?
Because there's government program involved and I need to figure out which one it is so I can order that. Does that help you? Do I need to explain that to you, Mr. Campos?
Well, no. Like
You want to do it?
I'm-
I didn't hear you were offering it. I just heard that you might have it.
No, I'm offering my insurance. I want the
Fine.
baby on my insurance. All my other kids are on my insurance. I want
Heard
my
it.
insurance.
Heard it. I just needed a yes or no. Ms. Teague, you're recommending that then the father's insurance?
Yes, Judge.
And does it cover dental too? Did you know? Do you know?
Yes,
No.
dental and vision.
Can I
I was
look
not
it up?
aware.
I have her card right here. Can I look it up really quick to see if she's renewed or not? Because I don't know if it automatically renewed. Or is she okay having double insurance?
What's going to happen if I order him to have it, then it would be his the primary, and if you qualify for Medicaid, they might be the secondary. So no,
Okay, that's fine.
don't tell me anything. He's going to carry it through his employment. And then this is a temporary. It can be changed at the final if something different happens. And then, okay, we're not doing retro. The visitation, I'm down to that. I am going to do weekly visits. No.
And Judge, I do want to,
Yes, ma'am, what?
beginning of the hearing, Mr. Campos still does have that pending criminal charge, where Ms. Rodriguez is involved, as a victim.
I'm aware of that. However, I heard their testimony different, so I'm not with the state on this one. You don't take a position.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you,
on
Your
the
Honor.
visits. So that she can have some Sundays, Mr. Campos, if I did every other Sunday or first, third, and fifth Sundays, do you want a couple hours on Thursdays or some other day that you can have her?
I can have her every Sunday.
Ms. Rodriguez, are you okay with that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh,
Oh,
you never know
awesome.
till you ask. Okay, so every Sunday, but I am going to make it from 10 to 6 without supervision. If something bad happens, it's going to be on your dime, Mr. Campos, and if something bad happens while the child's with you and she has to call CPS, she has to call the cops, she has to do something.
Your Honor, that is my daughter you're talking. That's my
I
daughter that you're
get that,
talking about.
Mr.
That's my
Campos, but
daughter.
I don't know anything else about you. I don't
Okay,
want
has
to go
anything
into
else
this
happened
stuff.
regarding my daughter?
Don't ask me questions. I'm not answering them. I'm
God.
telling you that you're hearing it from me. You're gonna be under the microscope.
Okay, I'm
Going
just
out
trying
on a limb for you. I am going out on a limb for you by not ordering supervision over the mother's request. So get that. I'm just telling you, no, you can't argue with me. You're muted. I cannot hear you. You need to be listening because it's my time to talk. I want to finish this order and get back to a bunch of other cases. Is that you are getting weekly visits without supervision. You should be thanking me, not arguing with me and questioning me. Got it? Got it. So you can also thank Ms. Rodriguez for that too. Every Sunday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. without supervision. And now I need to figure out the exchanges. Did you figure that out in your time talking to them, Ms. Teague? Is there some place that they can meet up? Or do I have to spend?
No, Judge, I did not.
Well, why don't you question them? I'm gonna stop talking for a minute. You question them on what would be the good place to meet up in a public place, or if he can't go to her house and she can't go to his.
Okay. And I do realize I'm going to preface this that, Mr. Campos lives in Travis County and Miss Rodriguez lives in Hayes. Don't say your email or your home addresses out loud. We'll try to find somewhere in the middle. I'm going to start with Miss Rodriguez. Do you have a preference on somewhere we can do or you can do visitations?
So I just want to, just so that we're clear. Yes, I am giving the baby to her. They are unsupervised. Now you're asking about the drop off and the pickup, correct?
Correct.
Um,
Maybe
honestly,
like a public place inside.
It doesn't have to be that crazy. It doesn't
Hold on,
have to
Mr.
be.
Campos. I'm going to talk to Miss Rodriguez first.
okay, and somebody does have to drive him to pick her up and drop her off, correct?
The order will state that he has to have a valid driver's license to be driving to pick up the child, or I must find transportation.
Can we just do the Buda HEB if that's okay? It's kind of in the middle.
Why don't you?
Mr.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Judge.
go ahead and question him on that. He seems to have a common sense solution, so let's hear it.
Okay,
I'm,
Mr.
o-
Campos.
I'm
Mr.
not
Campos,
arguing. Go ahead. Sorry.
does the HEB in Buda work for you?
Perfect.
Okay. I will get the address from you guys off of streaming. Okay.
Uh, Liz knows where I live. I know where Liz lives. I mean, there's no reason to even question any of that. But we're not going to do it streaming. I get it 1000%. Um, it, if it's on this visitation, I know we talk with the judge every Sunday. Does Mrs. Rodriguez want me to get her one Thursday, have her pretty late on a Thursday, and like we can switch off Sunday, Thursday, Sunday, Thursday. I'm just asking her because I know Thursdays is her days without her girl and time to decompress.
No, that's what I was gonna do, but you said, why can't I have the child every Sunday? So now you have more time on Sundays without supervision, without driving around a second time to meet her.
I
So
was just
why,
trying because Ms.
I
Rodriguez
don't,
and she's alone on Thursdays, so she doesn't have any kids. I'm just doing it for her if she wants to or
why
not, because
don't
I know
you
that's a big
do
deal.
that on your own instead of spending more time with me trying to figure out the details of Thursdays and if they're okay and when and what and where and all that? You all have the right to do that. If y'all can communicate, you should.
Okay,
If you can't talk,
okay.
don't talk, text. If you can't use app close, think of something else you can use. I don't know what, unless you tell me I can't put in a court order. You've already said app close won't work. And so all I have is you all texting each other.
So can you, in the agreement, is going to say every Sunday unless something else is agreed on, correct?
The order states that for visitation, that subject to what is ordered, if you agree to something different, you all are allowed to do it. Failing
Thank you,
full
ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
agreement, then this is what you're required to do or what you're allowed to do. And if you don't show up, you don't show up. Keep calendars so that I know that you're both on the same page of how many times you were late, how many times you showed up, and when you were back on time, or how many times you canceled. I need to know all that, so both of you keep calendars. You
Yes,
cancel
ma'am.
24 hours in advance. You exchanges at the Buda HEB. What else was I thinking? I did say co-parenting classes. I'm making that part of the order, and that would be online.
Oh, parenting classes.
Co-parenting classes, they have them online. If you don't know, call well, just online. I know there's co-parenting classes that are recommended by domestic relations offices from different counties. They do it already. They've been doing it for decades. So you can find something that's affordable and that you can work in. They might be 6 weeks, they might be 12 weeks or whatever, but do it. Just do something to start it. I think it might help. That's what they're there for. And maybe we won't have these problems for the final hearing or for the next child, if it's yours, Mr. Campos. Okay, was there any other restrictions or things that you can think of on the visitation, Ms. Teague?
No, Judge, I think we got it all.
Yeah, the communication by text message and the 24 hours advance notice to cancel. Otherwise, he'll be there. And then the co-parenting class. Okay, I will order I already said of the child support. I've covered all that already. I'm not going to repeat anything. Is there anything I left out, Ms. Teague? The reset date?
Yes, and I do have some dates. I believe you said you wanted to come back after his criminal case sentencing, so dates for that would be May 15th on Zoom or maybe May 22nd in person.
March, April, May. Why don't we go the further 3 months, because then it's going to be another several months before the child's born and we're going to come back.
Okay.
April, May, June.
In July.
I keep thinking September, but the child's gonna be born in July, right?
Yes. July 18th is the due date, Judge.
Then, yeah, let's come in June. So I can check, keep tabs on it and then order something different then. You have 3 days in June. Is anybody on vacation in June that you know of for any of the Thursdays in June? Mr. Campos, you go anywhere regularly in June?
No, ma'am.
You can plan around a court date, Ms. Rodriguez?
The only time I will be out of town in June is June 19th through the 22nd.
That's Juneteenth, weekend wraparound. Okay. I've got court dates on June 5th, 12th, and 26th, but probably 5th and 12th are the better ones. Anything with 12th? You okay with June 12th, Mr. Campos?
Oh, yes, yes, ma'am.
You too, Ms. Rodriguez?
Yes, ma'am.
June
So, but
12th.
all this one is gonna be is just a check-in, right? You're not gonna finalize anything till this
No, I
11th
don't think
check.
I
I'll
can
just get to it
finalize
once it
it.
is.
Yeah, if I need to tweak the visitation, if I find
Oh,
if
okay.
different evidence on your income, if I could probably tweak that. If the insurance, something went wrong, I need to look at those. I can look at all those things
Perfect.
again.
That's even better. I'll be better prepared next time with all my
Correct.
paycheck
That's
stubs
the
and all that.
point.
Yes, ma'am.
That's the point. And you need to make phone calls to not phone calls, just to get online and apply for modification. Okay, June 12th at 8:30 is your court date. It is by Zoom. It's the same Zoom ID, so you're on legal notice for that next court date. It will be in writing. They're going to send you a copy of this proposed order. It's going to come in from the Texas office to the Attorney General to your email addresses that you have on file with the state. So check for anything from that byline Texas Office of the Attorney General. That's this order. Consider that priority homework. Consider you open it, look at it, review it, sign it. If you don't sign it, it doesn't matter. It is my order. I'm rendering it today, partly by agreement between you all and mostly by ruling by the court, but it becomes my order. So I give you the courtesy of reviewing it and making sure there's no errors or that you understand everything or that they got that wrong or whatever, because you see it before I do. And if you call the state and discuss any issues, you can do that. But if 1 week from today, today's the 20th. By next Thursday, I'll be signing it. If you haven't signed it yourself, turned it in earlier, or called the AG and made arrangements with them by Wednesday of next week. By Wednesday, if you haven't done anything, I'll get it on Thursday and sign it without y'all, just so you're aware. You're still on legal notice, whether you sign the order or not. I'm putting you on legal notice. You're in court under oath on the record, so you can't say this didn't happen or I don't remember what she said. It's gonna be in writing, and I'm gonna review it myself too to make sure it's accurate. You have any questions, Mr. Campos?
No, ma'am.
Ms. Rodriguez?
No, ma'am.
I need you all to figure out how to calm the heck out and talk to each other. If you do that, great. Next time might be better. I don't want it to be the same way it was today. And if you have witnesses or anything else you want to present, you bring it. Otherwise, I don't get to hear it. And if there's nothing further, Ms. Teague?
No, but I do just want to read your ruling real quick just to make sure I've got everything. We're doing joint managing conservatorship with Hayes and contiguous, co-parenting classes online for both parents, weekly visitations Sunday 10 to 6, not supervised. Dad either has to have a valid driver license or transportation to those visits to the HEB in Buda. We're going to do communication via text only if dad needs to cancel the visitation, and he has to let mom know within 24 hours. Child support at $650 starting April 1st.